Do you want to know the fastest way to make $1 million in real estate? Well, I'm about to tell you. First of all, the two things you got to understand are what is a momentum play and what is a repositioning. Well, a momentum play is a deal that cash flows at closing. So when you buy the deal, the very next month, you get passive income coming in from that property. A repositioning is a deal where you're at 85% below occupancy or more, sometimes a lot more. It may or may not be cash flowing at closing, but you either have to do some repairs on the property, and you typically need to change the tenant profile in order to make a good profit. Now, you can make good money on both of these deals. Momentum plays when you're using value adds, and repositionings, just taking a property that has troubles and getting rid of the troubles and moving forward. So I've been investing since 1996. At the end of every year, if I close them on reselling, I would analyze them and determine, I would look at the numbers that I use going into the deal, and I would match them against the numbers that I had going out of the deal. If I made the money that I thought I would, kudos. If I made more money than I thought I was going to, how did that happen? And then if I made less money or no money on that deal, how did that happen? Okay, so I did this analysis, and as the years went by, I started realizing something. The deals that I made the most money on all kind of fell into these certain parameters, okay? And I call these deals micro repositionings, all right? Micro repositioning. So what are the parameters of a micro repositioning? Well, first of all, okay, these deals were bought at 86 to 91% occupancy. So what does that mean? That means that the property was in decline, but it hadn't gone below 85% occupancy, which would make it a true repositioning. So typically what that means is the ownership, for some reason wasn't paying attention to this property, whether it be ownership or whether it be management, but this property is slipping away. And you want to grab it before it drops down to become a micro repositioning. All right. And now we're also assuming that the market occupancy is anywhere from 93% or above. So if you can get a property at, say, 88% occupancy and the current market occupancy is 93%, well, your delta right there is 88 to 93. As long as you're buying based on actual numbers, write that down. That's the most important thing. We always buy based on actual numbers. As long as you're buying on actual numbers, you have 89, 90, 91, 92, 93 in profit just from the value add, okay? And if you buy it based on cash flow, you buy it based on actual numbers and you buy it cash flowing, so the property is already cash flowing at closing, you have all this extra reward from finding and buying that property. So secondly, it's got to be a B property. What's a B property? Well, there's 4 different classes of properties. A, luxury types of properties, relatively built within the last 10 years or so. Bs, built within the last 20 or 30 years. Okay, they have white-collar workers and some blue-collar workers. C property is a property that has mainly service workers, blue-collar workers in there. And D properties are D for difficult, D for drug dealer, typically. Okay, we're going to buy these micro repositionings. When I looked at my history, they were all B properties, and they were in B areas, okay? You can have a C property in a B area. You could have a C property in a D area, okay? But when you're doing a micro repositioning, you want to do B properties and B areas, okay? Secondly, or fourthly, what you want to do is you want to do upgrades, but you only want to be doing upgrades between 3,000 to 7,000 per door. So what do we mean by per door? We mean all of the interior repairs and all of the exterior repairs. If you put them together and you divide them by the number of doors or the number of apartments in the property, then that would give you your figure of how much you're spending on upgrades per door. So a 3,000 to 7,000 upgrade per door, that's just those are simple upgrades. It's painting, maybe it's some carpeting. Maybe you're redoing the landscaping, which is the first thing you always do, is you make that landscaping pop. You may not be putting in more new signage, okay? But when people are driving into that property, you want that landscaping in the exterior shell of the building to be looking really, really good. You want the common areas to be looking really, really good. You want the leasing office to be upgraded and, interior design to go in. And, when you walk into a place and you just feel comfortable, that's what you want there. And then you look at all the different repairs that need to be done in the units, and you look at the repairs that need to be done on the remainder of the exterior of the property. Now, the golden rule is you do not want to do any structural issues, okay? You don't want to be dealing with any structural issues on the property, because structural issues, number one, there's an unknown involved usually in structural issues. You have an idea of how much it's going to cost, but a lot of times you get a big surprise, okay? And also structural issues cost a lot more than $3,000 to $7,000 per door, usually when you're looking at them. Next, it will typically take you anywhere from 3 to 4 months to do the repairs on the property. Okay, during this time, the first thing you do are the exterior repairs to make that property pop. You can start increasing the rents. Oh, by the way, that's one other thing. Rents are below market. Okay, the rents are below market because as the market starts moving up, if this property is actually losing a tenant base, it's usually losing tenant base because they're not doing the maintenance and repairs on the property. And that's why you lose good tenants, all right, by not handling maintenance requests. And what happens is when you don't handle maintenance requests, okay, usually within 24 hours, that's what's expected, all right, is the good tenants, they're not going to deal with that. When their lease is up, they're gone because they want to live in a place that's kept nice and where the management cares. So when you lose a good tenant to a market in a property that is not handling its maintenance requests and the exterior is not looking up to snuff like it should, you know, and maybe the common areas aren't so great, you're not going to get as good of a quality tenant in return. All right, your tenant base is going to start to, the tenant profile is going to start to get a little less good, for lack of a better phrase. So the good tenants that you're leaving are not being replaced by good tenants. They're being replaced by marginal tenants who will accept the property like that. Okay, so now that you've done a pop in the upgrade in the exterior, you've talked to the people that are giving their notice that need to leave or could give their notice. Okay, and you focus on the good tenants first, and you let them know that we're a new management company, we're taking care of this place, and notice the exterior repairs that we've done. And if you will release, we'll give you a bonus to release, and there's a number of different bonuses that you can give to release to good tenants. But you try to keep them, all right, and then you slowly start increasing the rents back up to market. By the time you get all the repairs done in 3 to 4 months, any new tenant coming in is going to be at market rents, and any new tenant that's renewing is going to be at market rents as well. By the time 12 months goes by, which typically by the time every lease, you inherit all the leases of the property. Those leases are a year long. So as they decline, as they come due, all right, you have the opportunity to release them then, okay? So it takes 12 months to either increase all of the rents to the new levels and either renew the tenants or bring the new tenants in, and then 18 months later, you've got an opportunity to refinance or sell this property for a big profit. Typically at 100 units, that profit's somewhere around $1 million. Smaller properties, it will be less. Larger properties, it will be more. But when you start buying multifamily properties and you ascend up to 100 plus unit properties or more, you'll find that by doing these micro repositionings, you are going to profit handsomely. If you like this stuff, subscribe below, hit the bell, you'll get notified of our new videos. See you there.